Ryōsuke is an ordinary high school kid with no superpowers, but with rich parents. He lives in a big house alone. Sitting at school with his childhood friend Mina, he doesn't even know what's coming. When he came to the house on a rainy day, he saw a girl with fiery hair nearby. But what can I do? He invited the lady to tea, and she had time to take a bath and even put a huge sword in the chest of the cutter. Lisara, the world used to call him Blue, thought her boyfriend was dead. By coincidence of the circumstances of the plot, the lad appeared to be connected with her, scaring her with a sharp attack in her hot mouth, a cross-legged temple. She holds him up above her head and asks him to tell her all about power, about transformation, but he doesn't even know what he wants to become in his future. The lovely lady talks about the energy that flows in all living things, and she's the one who takes her away often. Feeling a presence, she surrounds the house with a barrier and is attacked by a monster. With Iroh's power, he is able to defeat the monster. As it turns out, he is unleashing Iroh's energy, which destroys all evil around him. The next morning, the hero was expecting a surprise. Lisara changed into his school uniform, which was very interested in the mine, as she did not understand why her childhood friend lives with another girl in the same house. In Sarah's share class, one of the Hikaru students is already trying to roll balls. The girl refuses a date and at recess collects all the energy from the dashers. At the tree, a friend of Q, who is also the Senegas, was waiting for them and offered to think about Hikaru. At the gym, she forced each other to shake hands and imprisoned Lisaru in a whip. The striker did not wait and released her with arrows. The sweet talk spilled over into the battle between the two hot Sinyags, but Lisara won the best dress in the competition. The children watch recordings of Araya Fukuman's performances, the idol of their Japanese life. Munio argues with Striker about the size of the idol's parameters, and they decide to test it live for a fan meeting. Lisara knew who it was and immediately agreed. Kerr at this time has processed the mind of the parent of the mine and forced herself to shelter for some time. At the fan meetings, the girls did not share the energy of mortals and swept off in an equal battle where friendship won. In the class, the main hero is joined by the idol of Japan, Irene, who showed her sincere desire to take energy from everyone. On the roof of the school, she even tried to get the attention of the Lisara boy, but Strider was right. They were attacked by a monster from another world who had a rough time, but thanks to Iroh's power, they were able to defeat the monster and save the school. Kier, still taking away the energy of the mine, wants to know how the cutting so quickly restores energy and decides to spy on the guys. Looking at the barrier, the girls see Lisara and her partner fighting a monster. Jir climbed into the room at night and saw the protagonist uttering foul language even in his dreams. In the morning, Lisara broke away from the sword and ran away in the evening, but found herself beside the monster because she lacked the strength to fight. The cutter is able to load it in time, but even that is not enough. The character learns a new ability to pull the sword from his chest and destroy the monster. Lisara explains why the cutter was able to pull out a huge sword. As it turned out, the keeper of one single ball was two families, the Arresting Women clan. The Garuda Man clan Brock. Unfortunately, the male clan has lost its share. They decide to call the cutter's mother to find out about his father. As it turns out, he was also a Seneca and even gave birth to Ryōsuke. All the girls in the room now dream of the hero, as he is an inexhaustible store of energy. But as always, at the end of a conversation with a terrible monster that ended with the victory of Team Ruska or Sarah. The heroes go to the Shinigami world, as a clan of men kidnapped Mina over a piece of the blade. The Rusks see in the distance the Soron Tower, which is called the bridge between the world of men and their Thule slave home. The boy, having become strong and independent, himself cuts off opponents with his sword. However, he lost the fight and found himself in bed at the Wrestle House. Kier tries to sleep with Ryōsuke to break the contract between him and Sarah, but nothing happens because he can only give energy to her. In addition, she angered the sisters. Lisara and Irene try to get to the tower to save Mina. The girl tries to escape without their help, which is later reported to the head of the Garuda Broca clan. Ryōsuke tries to convince the head of the Restall clan that he can fight for them, but she explains to him that the sword kept in him all this time is needed by the enemies, which means he has to sit and wait. Mina was chosen because her love for the river was able to upset the energy balance of the tower. The villain received part of his sword, but Lisara prevented him from taking over the world. The scoundrel was stronger and laid her on the shoulder, but in time the cutter came, who protected his friend with his sword and even managed to surprise the opponent. Because of the imbalance, the two worlds have come together, and there are monsters roaming the city. They drag the already battered cutters home, and later he gets up and is told that their lives have changed, and he needs to look at them and save up energy to fight. The girls decide to arrange a date between Mina and Ryōsuke so that she can accumulate energy. But at the end of the date, Ryōsuke rejects her, and all the energy she has accumulated dissipates. Lisara's on her doorstep yelling at her boyfriend, asking why he turned her down. Ryōsuke decides to tell her that she loves her by telling her about the first meeting and that her feelings are true. Lisara goes to the dream world to return Ryōsuke's soul. Later, he promises to come to the end in their relationship and win her heart. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to leave a comment about the retelling, and I will go and find you more years. You like and subscribe,